So, could an early human outrun an Olympian? It's a simple question. It feels like it should have a simple answer. You picture a modern, sculpted athlete in high-tech gear on a perfect track. Then you picture a rough, muscular human from the distant past, maybe covered in dirt and hair. It seems like a mismatch. But the truth is, it's not simple at all. The answer is yes. And also, no, it completely depends on what kind of race we're talking about. This isn't just about muscles and lungs, it's about evolution. It's about why we are the way we are. It's a story about two different types of human, shaped by two completely different worlds. One was shaped by the brutal, unforgiving pressure of survival. The other was shaped by the intense, focused pressure of modern competition. To figure out who wins, we have to understand both of them. Let's start with the Olympian, the modern champion. When you see an Olympic sprinter like Usain Bolt, you're not just looking at a fast person. You are looking at the pinnacle of human specialization. He is a Formula One car. Everything about him is optimized for one single purpose: to cover 100 meters of ground faster than any other human in history. His body is a product of incredible genetic luck. He has the right ratio of fast-twitch muscle fibers, the explosive kind you need for sprinting. He has the right limb length, the right tendon elasticity. He won the genetic lottery before he ever stepped on a track. But that's just the start. From a young age, that raw genetic material was honed. He had coaches, sports scientists, nutritionists, and psychologists. His diet was measured down to the last gram of protein and carbohydrate. His training was a science. They analyzed his stride, his start, his arm swing. They used high-speed cameras and biometric sensors. He spent years in the gym building specific muscles for explosive power. His life revolved around a single obsessive goal, and then there's the technology. The running track he uses is a specially designed surface, a kind of rubber carpet that returns energy with every step. It's a far cry from dirt or grass. His starting blocks allow him to explode out of the blocks with maximum force. His shoes, called spikes, are incredibly light and designed to grip that track perfectly. They are tools of speed. So when Usain Bolt runs the 100-meter dash, he is the perfect man, in the perfect condition, using the perfect technology on the perfect surface to do one thing. He's not a generalist, he's a specialist. He is the human body pushed to the absolute limit of explosive speed. Now let's look at the other side of the Olympic spectrum, the marathon runner. Someone like Eliud Kipchoge, the man who broke the 2-hour marathon barrier. He's built differently than a sprinter. He's light and lean. His body's a model of efficiency. He's not a Formula One car, he's a hyper-efficient diesel engine that can go and go and go. Like the sprinter, he has a genetic gift. His body is exceptional at using oxygen, what scientists call a high VO2 max. His muscles are predominantly slow, twitch fibers, the kind built for endurance, not explosion. They resist fatigue for hours. His training is just as scientific and rigorous, but for a different purpose. It's all about building that engine, making it more efficient, and teaching his body to burn fat for fuel. His nutrition is precisely controlled to maximize his energy stores. He runs hundreds of miles a week, every week, for years. His life is a routine of run, eat, sleep, repeat. And the technology helps him too. His shoes are a modern marvel with carbon fiber plates and special foam that act like springs, returning energy and reducing the cost of running. So he runs on a paved road, a predictable surface. He has a team that hands him perfectly formulated drinks at precise intervals to keep his engine fueled. He even has other runners, called pacers, who run in front of him to break the wind, making it easier for him. So the Olympian, whether a sprinter or a marathoner, is a modern creation, a combination of genetic luck, obsessive training, precise science, and advanced technology. They are specialists, honed to perfection for a very specific task. They are not normal humans. They are outliers. Now let's meet their opponent, the early human. Who are we even talking about? Human evolution is a long, branching story. Are we talking about Homo habilis from 2 million years ago? Or a Neanderthal from 50,000 years ago? For this, let's focus on the human who really became a runner. Homo erectus, who lived from about 2 million years ago to a couple 100,000 years ago. And we can also think about our own direct ancestors, early Homo sapiens, living as hunter-gatherers tens of thousands of years ago. These weren't athletes, they were survivors. Their world was the African savanna. A place of vast open grasslands, scorching sun, and dangerous predators. There were no supermarkets. There were no cars, there were no guns. If you wanted to eat, you had to get it yourself. And this is where running comes in. Early humans were not the strongest animals on the savanna. They couldn't outfight a lion, they weren't the fastest either, they couldn't outsprint a cheetah or an antelope. But they had a secret weapon, something almost no other animal had. They could run for a very, very long time, especially in the heat of the day. This led to a hunting strategy called persistence hunting. It's one of the most brutal, grueling, and incredible things a human can do. The idea is simple. You pick an animal, say a kudu or a wildebeest, you start to chase it. The animal, being much faster, easily sprints away. You don't try to keep up, you just jog after it, keeping it in sight. The animal runs for a few hundred yards, then stops, thinking it's safe. But then it sees you, still coming, so it sprints away again, and you jog after it again. You do this over and over for hours under the midday sun. Now here's the key. Most four-legged animals are much faster than us in a sprint, but they can't cool down very well. They rely on panting, and they can't pant and gallop at the same time. It's one or the other. So every time they sprint, they build up a huge amount of body heat. They have to stop to pant and cool down. But humans are different. We are masters of cooling. We are mostly hairless, and we are covered in millions of sweat glands. When we run, we sweat. The sweat evaporates from our skin, and it cools our blood. It's like having a built-in radiator. As long as we have water, we can keep our body temperature stable while running, even in extreme heat. The animal can't. So, the hunt becomes a battle of thermodynamics. The animal sprints, overheats, stops to pant. Jog, sweat, and cool down while still moving. After a few hours of this, the animal starts to break down. It's overheating. It can't run anymore. It stumbles, exhausted and suffering from hypothermia. That's when the human, who is tired but not overheated, can finally move in for the kill. This is the world that shaped the early human body. It wasn't about winning a race. It was about not starving. This pressure, over hundreds of thousands of years, forged a body designed for endurance. We can see the evidence in our own anatomy. We are born to run. Look at your Achilles tendon, that thick cord at the back of your ankle. It's huge and springy. When you run, it stretches like a rubber band as your foot lands, and then it recoils, giving you a little bit of free energy to push off for the next step. Apes who don't run have tiny Achilles tendons. Look at our butts. Humans have large gluteus maximus muscles. They aren't very active when we walk, but they fire up when we run, keeping our torso stable and preventing us from pitching forward. We have big running butts. We have a nuchal ligament, a band in the back of our neck that helps keep our head stable while we run. Apes don't have this. Our shoulders are decoupled from our head, so we can swing our arms to counterbalance our legs without jerking our head around. Our leg bones are longer. Our joints are bigger to absorb shock. Our whole skeleton is built for it. The lifestyle of an early human was one of constant activity. They weren't training. They were living. They walked miles every day to find food and water. They carried things. They hunted. They ran. Their bodies were tough. Their bones were thicker and stronger than ours today. Their feet, walking and running barefoot on rough ground their whole lives, were incredibly strong and resilient. They didn't have cushioned shoes. Their feet were the cushion. So now we have our two competitors. The Olympian, a specialized, fine-tuned machine of modern science, and the early human, a rugged, resilient, all-terrain vehicle forged by evolution for survival. Let's put them on the starting line. Race number 1, the 100-meter dash. This one is not even a contest. The Olympian wins. And it's not even close. Usain Bolt would be a blur of motion. Our early human ancestor would be left standing in the dust. The reason is simple specialization. The 100-meter dash is about pure explosive power. It's about how much force you can generate in a fraction of a second. This requires a nervous system trained for rapid firing and muscles dominated by fast twitch fibers. The entire system of an Olympic sprinter, from his brain to his diet to his starting blocks, is designed for this single violent burst of effort. Our early human was not. Survival on the savannah did not depend on being the fastest creature over 100 meters. In fact, trying to outsprint a lion would be a fatal mistake. There was no evolutionary pressure to develop this kind of explosive, short-term power. The early human body was built for efficiency and endurance, not raw speed. They were likely strong, but their strength was for carrying, throwing, and grappling, not for a perfect biomechanical sprint. They had no starting blocks, no special track. Their body was a general-purpose tool. The sprinter's body is a scalpel. In this race, the scalpel wins, easily. So, the score is Olympian 1, early human 0. Now for the second race, the marathon 42.195 kilometers or 26.2 miles. This is where things get really interesting. This is a test of endurance. This is closer to what the early human was built for. Let's imagine the race takes place on a modern paved road. Eliud Kipchoge is there with his pacers, his special drinks, and his carbon-plated shoes. Our early human, let's call him Korg, is there too, running barefoot. Who wins? Most experts believe the modern Olympian, Kipchoge, would still win, but it would be a much, much closer race. Kipchoge's sub 2-hour marathon pace is incredibly fast. It's an average of about 4 minutes and 34 seconds per mile for 26 miles straight. This is a blistering speed that most people can't hold for a single mile. Kipchoge's advantage comes from optimization. His entire life has been a process of refining his body to run this specific distance at this specific speed as efficiently as possible. His training has pushed his VO2 max to its absolute peak. His nutrition plan ensures his muscles are perfectly loaded with glycogen. His high-tech shoes save him a small but crucial amount of energy with every single step. Over the course of 26.2 miles and thousands of steps, that small advantage adds up. His running form is a model of efficiency, honed over years to waste zero energy. He runs on a flat, predictable surface that allows for a perfect, repeatable rhythm. Our early human Korg has all the raw evolutionary hardware for endurance. He can cool himself perfectly. His body is designed to go for a long time, but he's a generalist. His body was designed to run over uneven, natural terrain, probably not at a perfectly even, blistering pace. His training was the inconsistent rhythm of life, walking for a while, jogging, maybe a short burst of speed, then slowing down. He never trained to hold a specific, punishingly fast pace for exactly 2 hours. His fuel source would be different too. His body would be very good at burning fat, but he wouldn't have the advantage of a perfectly timed glucose gel or electrolyte drink. He would be running on whatever he ate the day before, and running barefoot on pavement would be brutal. While his feet would be tough, the repetitive, unnatural impact of asphalt is different from the varied terrain of the savannah. He might be more prone to injury on this artificial surface, so in a modern marathon, under modern conditions, the edge goes to the specialized Olympian. Kipchoge's science, technology, and laser-focused training would likely allow him to maintain a pace that the more generalized hunter-gatherer body just couldn't match. The specialist beats the generalist at the specialist's game, but the early human would probably finish not too far behind. And he might not be as wrecked as a modern runner would be. His body was built for this kind of abuse. He'd probably be ready to go out hunting again the next day. Many modern marathoners can barely walk for a week after a race. So, let's say Olympian 2, early human 0, but this one was close. Now, for the final, deciding race. This is where we strip away the modern world. Let's call this the ultimate endurance test. A 100-mile race. Not on a road, but across the African savanna. The same kind of terrain our ancestors evolved on. It's hot, the ground is uneven, rocky in some places, sandy in others. There are no aid stations with water or food. You have to find your own. The race takes place over several days. You have to navigate, survive, and keep moving. Who wins this? Here, the tables turn completely. The early human would dominate. This is not a race anymore. This is a test of survival, and the early human is a survival expert. The Olympian is a fish out of water. Let's look at the Olympian first. All of his advantages are now gone. Or, even worse, they've become disadvantages. His high-tech cushioned shoes, they might get shredded by the rocks or filled with thorns, or a single misstep on the uneven ground, something his ankles aren't used to, could lead to a race-ending sprain. His body is used to a predictable, flat surface. The constant adjustments needed for trail running would fatigue him much faster. His specialized nutrition plan, it's useless. There are no gels, no electrolyte drinks. He would have to find water, he'd have to identify edible plants or hunt small animals. Does he know how? Probably not. His body is a finely tuned engine, but it needs high-octane, specific fuel. Without it, that engine will sputter and die. He'd run out of energy fast. His mental focus? It's trained for competition, for pushing through pain, to beat a clock or an opponent. It's not trained for the gnawing existential stress of being lost, thirsty, and hungry in a dangerous environment. The psychological pressure would be immense and completely alien to him. His lean, efficient body? It's great for running, but it doesn't have a lot of reserves. A few missed meals, a night spent in the cold, and his performance would plummet. He is fragile. Now, let's look at Korg, the early human. This is his world. This is what he was born to do. His feet, tough and calloused, are perfect for this terrain. They can feel the ground, adapt to it. His risk of a simple sprain is much lower because his feet and ankles are strong and used to this kind of stress. And his bones are denser, more resistant to stress fractures. His knowledge is his greatest tool. He knows where to look for water. He knows which plants are edible and which are poison. He knows how to track and hunt small game. He can make a simple tool or find shelter. He's not just running, he's living off the land as he moves. His body is not just a running machine, it's part of a complete survival system. His metabolism is adapted for this. He can function perfectly well on a diet of whatever he can find. His body is used to periods of feast and famine. It is incredibly efficient at using fat for fuel, preserving its precious muscle glycogen for when it's really needed. And his mindset is forged in survival. He doesn't think in terms of miles or pace. He thinks in terms of reaching the next water source, of finding the next meal. The fear of death is a much more powerful motivator than the desire for a gold medal. The mental toughness required for persistence hunting, to just keep going for hours and days on end, is exactly what's needed here. He wouldn't just endure the hardship, he would expect it. It was his normal. In this race, the Olympian would likely break down within the first day or two. He might get injured, become dehydrated, or simply run out of energy. The early human would just keep going. He would methodically move across the landscape, fueling himself, hydrating himself, and slowly, surely, leaving the modern athlete far behind. This is his home turf. He is the specialist here. So the final score is Olympian 2, early human 1. But that single victory for the early human is the most telling one. It reveals the fundamental difference between us and them. As Olympians represent the peak of what the human body can achieve in a controlled, modern environment. They show us the outer limits of performance when every variable is optimized. It's an incredible achievement, a testament to human dedication and science. Early humans represent something else. They represent resilience. They were the ultimate generalists, masters of survival in a harsh and unpredictable world. Their bodies weren't designed to win races, but to win the much more important game of life. Their performance wasn't measured in seconds, but in generations. The fact that we are here today is a testament to their success. So, could an early human outrun an Olympian? In a short, explosive burst, absolutely not. The modern sprinter is a biological miracle of speed. In a controlled, paved marathon, probably not. The modern marathoner's specific training and technology give him a critical edge in efficiency. But in a long, grueling cross-country survival race, the early human would not only win, he would thrive, while the modern athlete would likely fail. What this really tells us is something about ourselves. We are all descendants of that early human. We carry the same evolutionary hardware inside us. We have the springy tendons, the powerful glutes, the amazing cooling system. We are all born to run. But we live in the Olympian's world now, a world of comfort, control, and specialization. We've traded the rugged resilience of the generalist for the peak performance of the specialist. Most of us don't use that ancient running hardware for its original purpose. We sit in chairs, we drive cars, we buy our food in stores. The Olympian, in a way, is one of the few modern humans who taps into that ancient potential, but they channel it in a very narrow, modern way. They take the endurance engine that was built for persistence hunting and they tune it for the marathon. They take the basic human form and sculpt it for the 100-meter dash. So the next time you see an Olympic runner, it's worth remembering where that ability comes from. You're watching a modern human push the limits of performance, but you're also seeing an echo of a much older story. A story of survival, of chasing game across the hot savanna, of a body that was forged by running. The story of our own ancestors. They weren't running for gold medals, they were running for their lives. And because they were so good at it, we are here today.